It's going to take a few minutes for people to jump on. Oh, it didn't show me. Doggone it. Let's see here if it'll show me now. There we go. Maybe. Oh, there it is. Okie dokies. So, we are live. Today is Saturday. Yesterday, I got my iron infusion. My thumb is still healing. What else is going on? I'm working on a hat. I decided to do the entire hat in ribbing. So you can see the, I've gotten a lot of really good color transition. Woke up late, so I'm taking my meds. Like I always tell everybody else, take your meds. I'm taking my meds. And because it's me and I have a hard time getting in protein, I'm just drinking a protein shake from Sam's. That way, I at least start my day out right. I hope y'all are doing well. It's a knit with me day because I still am letting my thumb heal up, and it's easier to knit than to crochet with my thumb right now. Yesterday, I went and got my iron infusion. So if you saw my short yesterday, that's what that was all about. What else? And those always take quite a bit of time because it's a 3-hour infusion plus 45 minutes to drive down there and 45 minutes to come home. Hello, hello. I hope you all are doing well. So I am still working on the knit hat from Thursday. I didn't work on it a whole lot yesterday, but I did get some really good color transitions in it, which is nice. So I'm really liking how it's shifting. Hello, hello. I hope you're having a good day. Oh, good. That's awesome. I always like to hear that. Good morning. It's going well. You know, sometimes that's the best place to watch a video. Sometimes the only quiet place. I got up late, so of course took my shower, and my hair has not dried. It'll take a while for it to dry today. The children are very glad that Grandma came back inside, my 4-legged children. Oh, thank you very much. I always like new friends. because Mom was outside cleaning up the yard again because we have a very dirty pine tree. And the dogs were upset because they couldn't be out there with her. Oh. Apparently we had somebody inspecting the roof.
Which we don't, thank God. But we need a new windshield in the car.
Well, apparently we need a new windshield in the car. We got some really wild hail yesterday. And it was pretty destructive here in town. Lots of people, you know, had windshields go out or windows going out. We had a really, really bad hailstorm yesterday, and it caused a lot of damage. I am knitting on a hat. I just decided that I'm going to do the whole thing in ribbing. Thank you very much. And so, yeah, yesterday was pretty wild. But, you know, we only get hailstorms like that usually once every couple of years. It's not every summer that we get something like that. But we had a hailstorm and a tornado. And we're in the southeast corner of Wyoming. And so we are at the very, very tail end of Tornado Alley. And so sometimes we do get some pretty gnarly weather up here. It's usually worse over in Colorado and Nebraska, but we're on the edge of the state, so we do catch some of that weather. And I'm knitting this as a gift for someone because their birthday's coming up, and I like to have gifts ready ahead of time so that I'm not scrambling to get stuff done. Oh, it's okay. We don't need a new roof, thank goodness. We've got the hail-resistant roof, but it's been on several years. Okay, over 20 years, which tells you how good it is. But the car windshield just got it. It was parked between our house and the doctor's next door. And, you know, realistically, I don't think people were harmed. It just is more, you know, property destruction. Thank goodness we're in a state where there's more antelope than there are people. Hello, how are you doing? I forgot to tell you, your other shamrock up there looks really nasty at nighttime, like it's dying or something.
It's got a problem, yeah.
Okay.
They all need to be repotted.
Mom's done so well with her shamrocks that they need to be repotted. They're growing big. But Mom's the one that has a green thumb. Thank you very much. Yep, purple's my favorite color, and they didn't have purple peonies, so roses are the next best thing, right? Tomorrow, I have my first of 5 markets that are all in August. They're all on Sundays, and they're at our local mall. So and they're all outside. We're taking our tent with us, although we do have to get a little bit more weight for our tent. And then what else? And we'll see how that goes tomorrow. I've never done a market out at our mall. And they're supposed to be having car shows and watermelon eating contests and donation for school supplies. So, hello. It'll be interesting. I think I'm one of 2 crocheters that are going to be there. And the nice thing about the market, though, is that every Sunday you get a different spot. So you won't be in the same location week after week after week. You get to try different locations. So that'll be a lot of trying and error. But that for me is pretty exciting. And then kind of depending how that stuff goes, I may try and get into a couple of the winter shows. But I'm not jumping the gun right now because I do actually want to see how things go and see if what I have people like. Tomorrow, most likely not. However, if it's really slow and there's not many people around, then I may go live. But it just kind of depends. I'm definitely going to get some pictures and some video of being out there because that's going to be Mom's job. And Mom is good about that stuff. I not so much. What else? I just have to kind of play it by ear about how things are going to go. So we'll see how it ends up being. Yes, I know. And I will get video for you I'll have Mom get video of the table. I might have 2 tables. I'm still kind of playing around. I think the first time I go, I'm only going to take 1 table. And then next week, depending on how things go, I may take another table. So yes, I will get video of the plushies. And if nothing else, I'll throw it up in a post on the community tab. I'm getting the side eye from the dogs right now. They're very happy with Grandma, but obviously are not my biggest fans at this moment in time. Oh, okay. Thank you so much for stopping by, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Oh, yes, they do. They are experts at it. Good deal. Make sure that you guys are hydrating. Bye-bye. And that you're getting your meds in if you need to. That if you need to eat, eat. You got to take care of you, hun. I saw a video this morning of another content creator. And that works. And she was talking about how people don't think that she has autism because she looks the video camera in, looks at the video camera, and they think from the viewer's perspective that she's looking them in the eye. And she was talking about how the camera's not an eye, that it's a camera. It's something completely different than actually looking looking a human in the eye. And I found that pretty interesting because I do actually understand where she's coming from. I'm not autistic, but it's easier sometimes to talk to people on camera over distance than it is to talk to them in person, especially when you have social anxiety. So this is how far I've gotten on the hat. And I do really like the color transitions because we started out with a little bit of pink and then orange and blue, and then it kind of went into a little bit of a purple. Now we're in pink. And of course, this is yarn that I got off of Amazon, and I really like it. You never know when you're ordering online if it's gonna be a good deal or a not so good deal. Thank you very much. Yes, I have. I knit a little bit yesterday, and then been knitting today. The nice thing about knitting hats is that it does not take as long to knit hats as it does some other projects. You guys are too kind. And I love I love talking to y'all. You guys are so nice. Oh, it's probably going to be done. Well, I shouldn't say that. Since I'm going to double it up and I need it to be 21 inches long, it's probably going to take about a week or so. Oh, thank you very much for stopping by, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you. Um, I love doing these lives. Hello, and talking with everybody. Um, most of the fiber community is pretty nice. Sometimes you have some drama, but I think for the most part, there's a lot of us that just don't want the drama. She sells her chickens, the Glamour Chicks, for $5 each. And I don't think they're going to the, in fact, I know they're not going to the show with us this time. She has some custom orders that she's working on for people right now. Oh, yes, I'm doing good. Thank you very much. Um, and I kind of doubt that next week she'll have any for the show, but that's okay because she's gotten special orders, and so that's what she's working on right now. And the next time that we go to Fort Collins, we have to do a delivery. And I'm really hoping that energy-wise, I do well tomorrow. I got my iron infusion yesterday. Um, yes, we ship. But we only ship to the United States right now. Mom is working on what she calls a cock of the walk right now, which is a rooster. And he's coming along very well. What else? It's clouding up, so we might get another storm today. But lucky for us, usually the storms aren't that, are not that bad as it was yesterday. And it should not knock us off the internet. Famous last words, right? It seems like we have more problems with the internet in storms and whatnot in the wintertime. Yes. The shipping cost is for our small items is $5. So in total it would be so it's 5 So it'd be $10.36 with tax. Hello, how are you doing? Nice to see you again. And thank you to all my returning friends for coming back. It's nice to see you all. Let's see here. Still working on that hat from the other night. I got a long ways to go because I'm going to double it up. And so I need to knit for 21 inches. But it's coming along. I just like hanging out with you guys. You guys are so nice. And it's fun to talk to you all. We did a late night live a couple of nights ago, and that was really enjoyable. Yes. Yeah, we had a pretty bad hailstorm come through with a tornado, and it took out our windshield, but our roof of the house is still doing really well. We've got the type of roofing that's hail resistant, so that's good.
30-year guarantee on it. No, it's supposed to last for 30 years.
So that's always awesome to know that stuff that's supposed to work works. And if Grandma knew, she'd be rolling over in her grave right now because my plushies are taking up the garage, which is why the car wasn't in the garage. So she would be very angry with me. No, we didn't lose power, and we don't have any trees that came down in our area. Now, there may have been in other parts of town, but I haven't heard about it. I just know that there was a lot of property damage from the hail because we got some very big hail. But I don't think we had any property damage. Well, at least in town we didn't from the tornado. And I don't think the county had any actual damage from the tornado. They couldn't measure how high up the tornado was because the tornado was right above the weather station where they do all those measurements and stuff. And so they couldn't figure out how big the tornado was until it had moved on. One of these days, I'm going to stick a microphone on Mom so you guys can hear how she corrects me because it's pretty funny. Oh, I love crocheting because you get faster dopamine because you can see your progress a lot faster. Um, but there's certain things like knitting socks that to me socks are better knitted than crocheted. Um, so I tend to prefer to crochet, but I do like actually doing both. I'm just knitting because I cut my thumb and my thumb has not healed yet. And so trying to crochet because of how I hold my yarn and hold my project, it's a little rough on my thumb. Knitting is easier on my thumb. And as the nurses like to ask me, was the cheese worth it? Yes, it was worth it. And thank you guys so much for liking and subscribing. If I didn't call out your name for subscribing, I apologize. YouTube doesn't always show me when people subscribe. I don't know what dictates that algorithm, but something does. Um, mhm. My main thing was I had to get stitches because I cut it deep enough. Um, and so anytime I put pressure on my thumb, it pulls on that whole area. I totally understand that. I tried to learn how to knit many times before it finally sunk in for me. And part of it for me was I had to figure out that I could hold the yarn in my left hand because that's what I'm used to um, holding my yarn, where I'm used to holding my yarn is in my left hand for crochet. And so I had to figure out that I could do that for knitting. Um, and then I had to figure out that um, for me, I'm not actually wrapping the yarn around the needle. I'm picking up the yarn a lot like I did with crochet. Um, and once I kind of got that stuff together, um, I just started knitting in the back of the stitch and practiced that for a long time. And then I learned how to purl, and then I learned how to knit in the front of the stitch. But it takes time because it's hard to see the difference. And you have to be able to recognize what the stitches are telling you. And it's not the same as looking at crochet. You have to actually see which way the stitches are mounted or facing, which is a lot different than crochet. Hello, how are you doing? Um, And yeah, my thumb will heal up fairly quickly. It just is going to take a little time um, to get there. Oh, silly me. I decided one night, late at night, that I needed some cheese, and I went to cut myself some cheese, and I cut my thumb instead. So it was a or ER visit, but I'm doing okay. And my finger should be healed, or my thumb, it should be healed, oh, probably by next Saturday, I think. Oh, yes, I'm good. How are you doing? I try to yeah, we have a room downstairs that in the basement that has no windows. So yeah, we were fine. Um, you know, pretty um sorry, Very Pink Knits on YouTube has some really good tutorials. She's pretty opinionated about what the right way to do things is. And I'm more like, um, do what works for you and what feels right. However, she does have some very, very well edited videos. Very Pink Knits. She is a um, she's been on YouTube for a long, long time. And then the Crochet Crowd also has some knitting tutorials. I don't think they have a whole lot because, again, they concentrate more on crochet than on knitting, but they do have both. You mean Irene? Oh. Hmm. Not a problem. Sharing for information is just part of it, because no one knows everything. And the more we share, I kind of feel like the better we are. Um, we help each other. Yes, 100%. And it sounds like, well, it looks like my aunt from Australia commented on some family pictures. Is she camera shy? No, she just kind of does her own thing.
She's in and out all the time, in and out.
She just said she's in and out. She's in and out all the time. Mom thinks of something and then she just jumps up and goes and does it, and then she comes back. Plus, she has indoor clothes and outdoor clothes. And she's in her indoor clothes right now, which I don't think she would want on YouTube.
I don't know, I got excited with them on and people series.
Okay. Good deal. Thank you so much for stopping by. Yeah. The dogs are very content right now because it's their nap time. And they get to nap on the couch next to Mom, which makes them very happy. Yesterday, Humphreys did something kind of weird. Because usually he sits on the couch next to Mom, and he's good with that. And Belly's the one that climbs on Mom's lap. Well, last night, Humphreys decided he needed to be on Mom's lap. Oh, Lord, yes. Yes, they snore and they bark and they growl in their sleep. They do all kinds of stuff in their sleep. And you know when they're chasing something because those legs are just moving and, you know, they're barking and making all kinds of noise and they're sound asleep. And my Humphreys is quite a little man. He he likes to sleep on Mom's couch after she goes to bed before I go to bed. And then when it's time to go to bed, sometimes he'll jump right off the couch, but a lot of times I have to sit there and be like, come on, let's go night-nights. He is. He is my little baby. And he knows when I say the word baby that I'm talking about him. And he will look at me. Because that's how we kind of differentiated the two boys when we had Watson as well before he passed. And so Watson was my old man, and then Humphreys is the baby. And Humphreys will always be the baby. Oh, made a mistake. Okay, let's get back here and fix it. No, that's right. Okay, sorry. Humphreys, oftentimes he doesn't freak out, but he'll growl because he doesn't like all the noise. Bella will sleep through it. She doesn't care. Just a second. Someone just rang our doorbell, and that always makes Humphreys freak out. Because if you're supposed to be at our house, you come in the back door. You don't come in the front door. Yes. That is reserved only for doorbells. And he learns the doorbells really quickly when we change the doorbell sound. And so it doesn't matter if we change it. He's always going to have a freak out. Because I got a doorbell that we could change the sounds. So hopefully, he wouldn't get used to stuff. But he's too smart for us. But it's just one of those things that you don't come to our front door when you're coming to our home. You come to our back door. And so anytime that dang doorbell rings, it's anxiety producing for him because he doesn't know who's out there. Why are they out there? Yeah, it did.
Good boy.
It's probably just a package delivery or something. And I always
Going around to talk to you about your roofs.
and I always put on there, please don't ring the doorbell. Because every time he freaks out. Sometimes they listen, sometimes they don't. And, it just is what it is. We've tried to kind of do some deconditioning with him so that it doesn't bother him as badly. And it's just one of those things that completely freaks him out. He's the first dog that I've ever had that didn't like going in the car. But then again, during the pandemic, we really didn't go anywhere for a very long time, other than to the vet. And so he's just not a fan of the car. Actually, for him, it's anxiety. You can tell by the real high-pitched bark and how forcefully and frequent that bark is, that for him it's anxiety. Yes, other dogs, it's total, let's protect mom. But for Humphreys, he's anxious because he doesn't know what's coming in the door. And that that anxiety, because he has anxiety about other people. He will go to see what's at the door, but usually what we do is we have him, because trying to get him to stop barking is very difficult when someone has rang the doorbell. So usually what we do is we go to the back door and he'll go out into the backyard, which gives us time to go to the door and see what's at the door. If I know for sure that it's just a delivery, I'll take him to the door with me so that he can smell what's coming in the door, because he does like to smell every package and sometimes even every piece of mail that comes in the house, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. But when we have people come, we have them come in the back door and leave through the back door, which helps him with his anxiety a little bit. Plus, we do treats when people, if someone comes over, we'll do treats to help Humphreys kind of get used to them faster, because he's definitely food motivated. But unlike Watson and Belly, Humphreys is not a vegetable dog. My Watson was a huge vegetable dog, and Bella likes vegetables. Humphreys, on the other hand, not so much. And we can always tell when there's someone in the neighborhood that is not a typical person in the neighborhood, or it's someone that he does not particularly care for, because he will. Oh, yes. I don't often turn them on. Let me see here. There you go. But he lets us know because he has a different bark if it's someone that, is a neighbor versus someone that isn't. And then there is one particular neighbor that he really does not care for, that used to be our neighbor behind us. But since we're still actually on the same block, just different house, he's not the neighbor behind us, but he comes up and like walks up to the house, and then we'll turn around and walk away, because he's trying to get his steps in, because he had a heart attack, and so he's working on his health, and I don't have any problem with that. But he's not the nicest bloke out there, and Humphreys does not like him. And so we can sure tell when he's out there, because Humphreys lets us know. Again, it's the bark sounds different. And Humphreys probably should have been named Ferdinand, because he likes to smell the flowers. He likes to be in the garden with Mom smelling the flowers. Bella, on the other hand, couldn't care less. I mean, yeah, she wants to be out there with Mom, but she's not a flower dog. Yes. Yes, they do. I used to, yes. Watson passed away in October. I had him for 15 years, almost 16. So, yes, we did have 3 dogs. And I still compare Humphreys to Watson sometimes when I'm talking, because they had even though they were both black and tan short haired dachshunds, they're different sizes. Their hair coat was completely different, and their tail lengths were different. Humphreys has a real nice long tapered tail. Watson had a short and stubby tail. And so, you know, I still talk about Watson. He was definitely my Velcro dog, and don't worry, it's okay. He is out of pain, and I truly believe that there is a rainbow bridge, and I will see him again, just like I'll see all my other dogs. I had Dusty Bear, Ginger Snap, Laffy Taffy, and Puddin'. Those were my dogs growing up. And then I got Watson when I was an adult. He was a birthday present to myself. And then we got Humphreys in 2018. So Humphreys is the youngest dog in the family, and he has a lot of anxiety. And some of that anxiety, unfortunately, he learned from me and my behaviors, because I have a lot of anxiety, but he also learned bad behaviors because of my grandmother. Yeah, I don't know. We had Phoenix, my cat, for a long time. And Watson, we had for a long time. When I was really little, we had Hans, Lars, and Liebchen. Those were my mom's dogs. And I was always so dang jealous of Liebchen, because Liebchen was my mom's baby. And she was a little black and tan dachshund. And I probably harassed the heck out of her and didn't realize it, because she and I didn't particularly care for each other. But man, did I cry when she passed. Oh, I was very upset about that. I felt so bad. I feel bad when any of the dogs pass. But we have a really good vet. And I was there with Watson when it was his time to go. And he was relaxed. He was calm. He was happy. And, he wasn't hurting. And I liked being able to be there with him. And until I started to we were getting ready to leave and I started to stand up. Then I got freaked out because he had already passed. And so it's just dead weight. And when I started to move, the body just kept sliding with me. And that was a little creepy for me. But other than that, it was a good experience. And, he had no clue what was going on, but he was out of pain and he was happy. And we were sitting together, which is something that he always loved to do with me. Humphreys, on the other hand, he'll sit with me here and there, but he's not he's not as cuddly, and he doesn't want to sit with me as often. And that's okay, because he's a completely different dog. His personality is different. He is way more independent than Watson ever was. Watson was my Velcro dog, but he wanted to just be with me. Anywhere I went, whatever I was doing, he wanted to be with me. Humphreys, on the other hand, yeah, he likes to hang out with us, but it's on his terms, kind of like a cat. And he's always thinking, like, he'll watch TV with us and be interested in different people and in different animals and stuff. He's way more attentive to that kind of stuff than any of our other dogs have been. It even surprised the dog behavioralist when we went to see her, because she was showing us a video of them working with their dog. And he sat right there and watched it right along with us. And usually dogs are not that, they're not as aware about like TV and stuff because it's not as real. You know, you may have sounds, but you don't have scents that go along with that. And so it's not as much of a driver for dogs, but for Humphreys, like he watches TV with us. Hello, how are you doing? But Pokey is a really good name because I did read that. I just was yabbering on. I do that a lot. I just kind of do a lot of talking, I guess. Ah, it looks like Mom may have finished her cock of the walk, but it's still drying because she put a mohawk on him.
He's not. Just needs time to sit.
When he's dry, we'll get a picture and we'll throw him up on, I'll put the picture on the community tab. Thank you all for being here and liking and subscribing. Yes, they are. And when she's done with this one, she'll take a picture of it and I'll throw it up. I'm doing well. How are you doing? Good deal. I'm glad to hear that. Like I said, thank you all for coming and stopping by, liking, subscribing. I love meeting new friends. And this is a safe environment. Huh. That's a lot. Thank you very much. What did I do today? I woke up, took a shower, and then jumped on here to do my live. What did you do today? Cool. Yep, I'm always looking for new friends. Ah, okay. Fine by me. Okay. Well, sweetheart, I have no mom. Or I mean, I have no mom. I have a mom. I am not a mom. Um, you already have. And so, when you're on YouTube, if you go to my channel, um, and then I think you have to scroll to the right a little bit. There's a little tab that says community. And if you click on that, you can see my community posts. I wanted to connect with more people. And I love to knit and crochet. And when you're on YouTube, Mississippi, and you're like scrolling through your For You stuff that pops up, the recommendations, sometimes on there it will show you the communities that you're a part of and what the latest posts on there are. Sports ball? Mm-mm. No, I do not do sports bar. Sports ball. I knit and crochet. Do you do any sports? Oh, cool. So, what's your favorite kind of food to cook? You're right. There are competitions for how fast and accurate you can. Hmm. Oh, okay. I know what it is. So, so on my channel, if you're on a laptop or a phone, you'll be able to see community. If you're watching like on a TV, it's not going to show up. Cool. Huh. Thank you. I've had them for a while, but I really do like them. Huh. Okay, so when you saw the picture of the glam chick, that's the community page. Ah. Do you like to, well, you said you tried knitting. Um, have you tried any other hobbies? I mean, we know you like to cook and that you play basketball. Huh. Then it's going to be under posts. No, I don't know what you're talking about with grain, but I'm very open to hearing about what you mean. Huh. Do you grow your own tomatoes? Ah. Do you grow different types of them? Because I know there's different ones for, like there's cherry tomatoes and steak tomatoes, but I also know there's like different types of heirloom ones. Oh, no problem. Wow, cool. You must have a green thumb like my mom. I have a black thumb, meaning that if I try to keep something alive, plant-wise, it's gonna die. Which is why it's awesome that I get to benefit from mom's hard work with her flowers, because she she's got an awesome green thumb. Her grandfather did too. Oh, so the posts are the community. If it doesn't say community, I don't know why it wouldn't say community, but the posts are actually the community. That's where I can put information, but other people can put stuff on there too. Huh. That's interesting. I say practice makes better, not perfect, because I'm never super good at something right away. It takes practice for me. Um, Once I get comfortable with something, um, I do like being proficient, but it takes a long time to learn, lots of skills. hmm I used to like trying all kinds of stuff. But now that I'm a little bit older, I kind of know what I like, and I have my hobbies that are close to my heart, and I spend a lot of time doing my hobbies, so I'm not so interested in adding a new one in. I used to want to learn how to spin, but um, now I spend so much time knitting and crocheting that um, I'd have to make time to learn how to spin. But I've tried soap making and um, weaving, beading. I've tried a lot of different things. Ah, cool. Mm, we used to go bowling, and um, yes, I've ridden horses, but it's not my favorite thing. My cousin convinced me to get on a horse when I was really young without a saddle, and I got bucked off. And then ever since then, I've never really liked riding horses. And yes, I've been on horses since then, but it's not my thing. They're pretty to look at, but it's not something that I'm really interested in doing. I like kind of keeping my feet on the ground. Sounds good to me.
Hello. Hello. Well, not.
Oh, I'm in my 40s. Huh. Hi, how are you doing? Nice to see you coming back. Yes, knitting. My thumb still has not healed up, so I'm still working on the hat. Huh. Well, it's been very nice to getting to know you today. Um, I do. We have two dogs. For knitting, Very Pink Knits is probably the person that I recommend the most for tutorials. She's got some very good tutorials. Thank you so much. I didn't do anything with it today. I took my shower and then have been letting it air dry. Thank you very much.
Your niece, my daughter, woke me up earlier this week and, Mommy, can you take a bit? Where is you? What's going on? And she goes, shut the freezer.
Thank you.
We've been trying to get it to stop, but I cut it really good, Mom. But, that's also 10:30 as well.
Hello. Right now, I'm knitting a hat for somebody's birthday because I cut my thumb and it hasn't healed just yet. I'll get back to crocheting hopefully next week once it's healed.
By myself, which I did do. And then I laid down again, and when she called me 2 o'clock, I panicked. It's like, where's my phone ringing? What's going on? And then I saw her name. It's like, oh yeah, I took her down to the convention.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't see anything for Thursday at this point in time.
Yes. Actually, what I do is on the second. Okay, not on the cast on row, and not on the first knit row, but on that second knit row. I pick that length up, and I knit it with my first stitch, which brings everything back together.
I have a little bit of time because I know it's the 7th is when she has her birthday. So, yeah, she's August 7th and she's November 7th. I remember that's how it helps me remember birthdays. The two girls and Zane are on holiday, so I remember that. And Ariana is the 23rd of June, and I remember she's born in June, and so we're the 23rd. And then Cal, I think, is on the 15th.
Yes. So, so I do my cast on row, and then I knit it. Then I'll do a knit row, and when I come back and I'm starting that second knit row or purl row, what I do is I pick up that extra yarn on my needle and knit it together with the first stitch of the next round to shorten that space. And then this, let me see here if I can show you. This space right here is what it ends up looking like. And then if I still have, a space in there later on, I can always go back and when I weave in my my end, I can close that space up if I need to. Yes. Well, no, I work it like it's a stitch. And so I don't pick it up with the needle that I knit with. I pick it up with the other needle. And so then it kind of ends up, let me show you this. So it ends up looking like this, where I've picked up the yarn in front, and then this is my knit stitch, and then I knit them together. And that's how I shorten that space. Another way that you can do it is when you're doing your cast on row, add an extra stitch. So then when you go to start your regular round, you take that last stitch that would be on your, well, for me, it would be on my right hand needle. You move it back over to the left hand needle, and then you knit it with the first stitch, and that will also take that space out. Those are the ways that I know how to do it. I'm sure that there are other ways. Make sure that we're all hydrating.
Well, right, and you can't say, don't give me boundaries, and then I should have gone and passed boundaries, but I didn't know what and I think that was going on a lot. Right. Well, fine.
It's kind of funny. Every time well, not every time, but most times when I'm doing a live on Saturdays, my aunt calls and wants to talk, which is fine. But then I have to call her back after the live because, I'm doing the live. Oh, needlepoint is beautiful. Cross stitching, needlepoint, there's a lot of different hobbies out there that are awesome. They're just not for me anymore. One of my friends does what is it called? Stamped cross stitch, where the pattern is stamped on the fabric, but then after you stitch over it and you wash the fabric, the pattern washes off so you can't see it. Hello, how are you doing? Hello. Thank you guys so much for stopping by and liking and subscribing. Hello. Moderate blue. I don't know what that means. Yes. Hello. Thank you very much. And, love and positivity right back at you. Oh, do you mean in the yarn that I'm working on? This is actually um, it's a long colorway yarn, so it will go back to blue. But I have to get through all of the orange, to get back to blue. But it will come up again. Because I have to knit 21 inches for this hat, for it to be the length that I need it to be when I finish it off. I am from Wyoming. I knit and I crochet. But I cut my thumb and had to get stitches earlier this week. So knitting is easier on my thumb than crochet right now. But I'll go back to crocheting as soon as my thumb heals. Oh, my name is Jamie. Yes, I do crochet and I'll go back to crocheting as soon as my thumb heals up. I just did I did some damage. Oh, thank you very much. Nice to meet you too, Castle. Um, Mom is telling stories on me. She's out in the kitchen talking to my aunt. Which Mom tells the stories better than I do, so. Oh, thank you so much for stopping by, and I look forward to seeing you again. Oh, she's talking about how I cut myself, and she'd already gone to bed and was sound asleep, and I had to go wake her up because I don't drive, and she had to drive me down to the hospital. And then she just dropped me off, which we had agreed on, and then I was supposed to call her when I was done, which I did do, but then when I called her, she didn't know why I was calling her because she'd forgotten that she'd taken me to the hospital. And then talking about how excited I was because I have over 150 subscribers, which just boggles the mind that, I've met that many new people. Um, my mom is a nurse, and so her perspective on everything is often skewed to dark humor. And she gets really animated. She's my mom is a Quirker. She worked as a nurse for, oh wow. Oh, that's cool. I like this community. I like doing lives with you all. I like talking to you all. These conversations are so nice. Thank you for letting me know that. Because YouTube won't tell me that until like tomorrow. It takes a while for it to update for me. I packed my bag for going down for my infusion yesterday, and I have left it packed because I'll need the same stuff when we go to the market tomorrow. Because I always take like portable energy. I have a Jackery, and I take water with me, and I take extra cords. So I always have that stuff. I like to keep all that stuff together so it's easy to grab when I need it. I have to laugh because I have to tell mom when I have my hearing aids in and when I don't because I can't hear her when I don't have my hearing aids in. And last night she was trying to talk to me and I didn't have my hearing aids in. And so I couldn't hear her and had no clue what she was trying to say. And so finally I'm like, I don't have my hearing aids in. And I was showing her that I had taken them out. And she's like, oh, and so then she proceeds to try and talk a little bit louder. And it's like, nah, let me put them back in because I can't hear my mom well without my hearing aids. If someone is close enough to me, between what I can hear and kind of like their body language and stuff, I can usually figure out what they're trying to say. But my mom is a complete mystery unless I have my hearing aids in. I fought for a long time to not get hearing aids, but I got to the point where I just I couldn't function without my hearing aids. And we lost a hearing aid, or I lost a hearing aid last September, and we looked and looked and looked and could not find it. And they're not cheap, but I was at the point where we could get a new set of hearing aids. And so we were talking with my doctor, and we told him that, you know, if I could have any color of hearing aid, I wanted purple. Hello. She is. And and he's like, really? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, well, your ears are small enough. We can still do a kid's hearing aid, and you can have purple hearing aids. So that's what I did. Was I got purple hearing aids, and I really do like them. Um, and Mom was laughing the whole time because she knows purple is my favorite color. And we didn't think that we could get purple hearing aids, but we did. Thank you. Mom is part of the Nurse Honor Guard. And so now oh, cool. I'm from Wyoming in the United States. Mom is part of the Nursing Honor Guard. And what they do is they're retired nurses that go to, can I speak any German? No. The extent of it is Liebchen. And that's because that was my mom's dog's name. I know a couple Russian words and speak American English, which is, I think, quite a bit different than English in a lot of other countries, especially when it comes to like our slang.
They gave her, she had 2 stitches, cause it's kinda like long on the side of her thumb, but part of it went right up to the nail. They cut the nail, but right up to it, so yeah.
Oh, okay. Have a good day. Thank you for stopping by. That's okay. Bye. We are getting back into the orange section. Um, and I was thinking that I'd have enough yarn to do socks, but I don't think I will. I'll have to grab a different yarn to do socks. And I'd kind of like to find a yarn to pair with this one. This is fingering weight, and I really like this colorway, but it's the dyer is not dyeing it anymore. It's called Barbie. I think you can see why. And I'd like to figure out something to use with it so I could get an entire set of socks for Mom out of this. I'm about 15 grams short. So if I did another color, it would probably go well with it. But I'm not too sure what to do. And it's definitely for Mom because it's pink. since she's out having a good time talking on the phone, I can, say that the hat's for her and that I'm going to knit her socks and that I have other plans for her for Christmas and whatnot. Normally that's a great idea, but mom likes her socks longer than that. And since they're for her, I want to make sure that I knit them the way that she likes to wear them. But yes, that is a very good suggestion. If they were for me, I would just do ankle socks. Hmm.
And talking about things that's happening, I was outside, oh, it just was more, from the spruce and then the neighbors' trees, leaves and twigs and nothing big, but just crackling all over the place. I took care of the.
Now we're back on the tree. She's talking about the pine tree. We have a pine tree that is over 100 feet tall, and it's pretty, but it dumps all kinds of junk in the backyard, and we have to keep it cleaned up. Oh, they both are. Hello. And they're both chatterboxes. And my aunt is a big social butterfly. Yes, I saw that. Hello. And my mother is becoming a social butterfly. She didn't used to be, but that was when she was kind of living underneath grandma's thumb, which was for most of her life. And now she's really coming into her own and having fun. But we try and keep the stuff from the pine tree cleaned up because the dogs track it in. And of course, because it has sap on it, then it sticks to everything.
So she came back and I said, so how much is it gonna cost me for you to go up there and look at the work? She goes, oh, it's free. I said, okay. She goes up and she goes, well,
And with like the big hail and stuff from yesterday, it knocked a bunch of stuff out of the tree, which is good because then that means we're not waiting on the wind to knock it down. But the dogs, we have to keep the dogs clean because they come in with sap all year long. That tree just drops sap all the time. And it's a squirrel haven. And the squirrels keep the birds out of that tree. The birds have, they have their nests actually in the kind of like the points or the eaves of our house and the other houses around here. Some of the small trees the birds have nests in, but usually the trees get taken over by the squirrels. And then all the bushes on the ground are full of little rabbits. We have a lot of rabbits in our neighborhood. And then if you're out at nighttime, you'll see the raccoons because the raccoons live in the sewer system and they come out at nighttime looking for food. And they like our neighborhood because we have a lot of cats. And so there's cat food outside and they love to eat cat food.
to the east though. Then that's where I was seeing people were showing pictures of it, so it's like, oh, okay, whatever.
One year I put the dogs outside and it was late at night and the dogs instantly started barking and carrying on. So I go outside, and there's 5 raccoons on the back fence. And one of the raccoons, I think she was probably a mama raccoon, was just screaming and screaming. And so I went and got a broom because I was trying to keep the dogs away from the raccoons and keep the raccoons away from the dogs. And I just wanted the raccoons to leave our backyard, right? Because I did not want them to, you know, bite or scratch or anything, the dogs, and I didn't want the dogs to bite them. Finally, they left, but the mama raccoon screamed the entire time. And so then I put a note on the mirror for mom, because if she needs to know something when she first gets up, that's what I do, is I write a note and I stick it on the mirror, because that's the first place that she goes, is the bathroom. So that she would know not to let the dogs out until she checked for raccoons.
Yeah, yeah.
What else?
Right.
If you end up having like arthritis type pain, oh, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm open to questions. But if you end up like having
Were they
like arthritis in the hands or knees or whatnot, this Voltaren gel is awesome. You can get it over the counter in the United States. I think it's called diphenylinic gel in the prescription form.
right?
And I'm waited with bated breath for your question.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, to both.
Yeah.
I have a lot of anxiety, and then we have some trauma issues. A lot of it stemming from
I don't know. I think she was
issues
she
with
had to go
grandma.
there in the United States, and she was asking for Sue and Chris's phone number. I imagine maybe she wanted to go down and see him and maybe bunk out there for a while. Yeah, because she goes, "Are you gonna come up and see my dad?" And I said, "No, Karma, I'm not." I said, "I'm sorry, things, change." And I said, "My knee's been bothering me, and I just," I said, "and I just would rather be home when I go to sleep at nighttime, because," I said, "part of the time it doesn't bother me, and part of the time it's like I'd like to, give it to somebody else." Because it's bothering me so much, so, and so I told her no. Huh? No, here, where she's at, here in the US. Yeah, and she was trying to find a place for dad. So I said, "No, I said, things have changed since I talked to you last." And I said, having problems with the knee, so I finally went in to go see, and I said, it's bone on bone, and, either you live, the main two choices: live with it or have a knee replacement. So
Oh, thank you very much.
I'm gonna go for the knee replacement. So
Yeah,
just
I'm
kinda
kind of an
anxious
odd
to
duck.
see how this goes, because it's totally different.
But yes, you
They
hit the
will
nail
use
on the
that.
head.
They're
But
not,
thank
they're
you
not
very
gonna work
much
under the, it goes into
for
the
saying
side
that.
on the side.
And I'm glad that this
And,
is, I want it to be a safe space for everyone. Because we all need somewhere safe to land.
yes, they do, and the part is made for you specifically. So, and, then the part comes with some other tools to, however it gets placed in, so it's put in the way your body needs it to be. It's made specifically for your surgery. And I thought, well, that sounds pretty interesting. And I keep, and of course, and I don't blame you, he wants me to have it as soon as possible, but I keep thinking, I'd like for them to get their robot put in there. I'd like to be, have that robot and stuff, them all do that.
Yesterday, I was talking with Mom while I was getting my my iron infusion,
Yeah,
and
it's supposed to be,
I told her that I want her to get.
October, by October.
Oh,
He says
no
it won't be up
problem.
and running by then. I
Absolutely
said,
no
I
problem.
know.
Yesterday, Mom and I were talking, and I told her that I wasn't trying to be demanding like my grandma,
Use it.
but I really want her to, she needs to have knee surgery. And I told her that I want her to have that sooner rather than later because she's
Yep.
having issues. Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah.
And Mom understood what I meant because Grandma would say something and she would think that she was making a request, but it was never a request. It was always a demand. And Grandma ruled the family for years. And so I try really hard not to do the things that Grandma taught me. Grandma taught me a lot of really bad behaviors. And, you know,
Yeah.
I don't want to
Yeah.
be like Grandma. I don't want to be that person. So I try really hard to
Yeah.
state my feelings, talk about my feelings,
was
but
like that.
also
I knew the
give
message was
Mom
getting me.
room for
Right.
her feelings.
I knew
And,
it could
you know, we
come,
can make it a
people get it
discussion rather
quickly, and they
than
fix it so quickly.
just a
And
point
I
blank
kept trying to force
demand,
myself
get your knee
talking, he goes,
fixed.
I wish you'd quit doing
Um,
that, he says, cause you need that medicine, and I really did,
so,
but the minute he says, you don't need it anymore, it was gone, I was
you
just
know,
got rid of it.
hello. And Mom and I have a really good relationship, and we have had for a long time. And I work because my mom is so sweet and so nice. I don't want my mom to feel like I'm making demands or bullying her or anything like that because she's such a sweet person and she does so much for me and for others. And she lived under Grandma's thumb for decades. And I want her to be able to have her life and do things that she likes to do and what she wants to do rather than her feeling like she always has to do what I want or what I need. Um, so we have an interesting relationship, but um, we do well together. Um, and it's nice to see her kind of coming out of her shell and flowering more now that Grandma's gone. Because you know she's dating and she's part of the nurse honor guard and she goes and does stuff with her friends and does stuff with my aunt and does stuff with me and you know she'll offer to take me to do stuff um, but usually I don't want to go and that's okay. And if I ask her to do something, you know, I always tell her it's okay to say no because for a long time in our family it was not okay to say no.
Say hi.
So you know
I was
we
gonna do.
we have a very different family now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Love you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, my mom is like the nicest person that I know. It takes so much to really get her riled up and angry. And then she does a little poof of anger and then she's done and she's like, okay, it's over with. Um, my mom is awesome. And so I do my best to be more like my mom than like my grandma. Because grandma had mental health issues and she didn't want to get them addressed. And grandma and I, our personalities to some extent um, are somewhat similar. We're definitely more fiery than mom is. And so is my aunt. My grandma, my aunt, and I all, we don't have the same personality, but we have some of the same personality traits. And we can get really boisterous and loud, especially if it's something that is like really, I'm, I'll tell you it this way. I'm a bull in a china cabinet when it comes to my mom and my aunt's health. Um, I try not to be demanding, but I'm going to be honest with you. If I feel like they need to go to the hospital and they're not, um, I my aunt says that I come out like a big mama bear. Um, yes, but I have reasons for making the change and reasons for wanting to be different from my grandmother and not have that, not utilize a lot of the stuff that she um, taught me, and trying to change and reframe things because grandma had a lot of pretty severe mental health stuff that she didn't want to get treated, that she didn't want to talk about. It didn't, for her, it just didn't exist. You know, everybody else was in the wrong and there was a lot of negativity. And I don't want that to be me. And I recognize that I can very easily slip into old patterns and be loud and demanding and angry over like really small things that don't matter. And so I have been consciously trying not to do that, not to have those behaviors, not to have those outbursts. Hello, because I could see what that did to my mom, to my aunt, to my family, as well as to other people. And I could see how it was negatively affecting myself. And so I try to choose positivity and I try to choose nice ways to say things because I know that I can be demanding even when I don't want to. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you doing is something wrong? Huh. Um, mhm. Yes, and that's hard to live with, and keep your light shining and your positivity. Yeah, my mother has a ton of patience. Um, and I try really hard to be like my mom and have more patience. Not going to say that I don't get irritated sometimes, but it's less of an issue the older I get. Yeah. Yes. My mother's always been the one that wanted to take care of everybody, that took care of everybody, that was the peacekeeper, that didn't want to rock the boat, um, had all kinds of patience, and she still does. Um, and so I have a very good role model in my mother. Hmm. But you're 100% right. Situations like that, you need a lot of patience. Do you feel like explaining easy? Are you having a rough day? I'm so sorry. I know the dark times are really hard and really rough, but you're wanted, you're needed, and you're loved. If not by anybody else, then by me. Life is rough and it sucks. Um, so you have to take care of you. And there are times where it will get easier. This is always a safe place, easy. It, oh, honey, I want to be your friend. I know it's hard when you feel like you don't have anybody. Ah, thank you for stopping by, and I hope to see you soon, and God bless you too. Yes, easy. I do want to be your friend. And I'm glad that you're reaching out, because that's important, especially when you're having really rough days. Oh, honey, you are very welcome here. Thank you so much. Um, I'm probably going to butcher your name, so I do apologize. But thank you, Asma, for being here and talking to me and Easy. And I look forward to seeing you again. I don't think you're dumb. It must really be a rough day over there for you. Um, yeah. Remind me again, what are your favorite hobbies? Thank you so much. Knitting. Awesome. Do you want to knit with me? And if not, that's okay. Good deal. We'll hang out and knit together. What project are you working on? Oh, cool. Are you making a square one or a round one? Cool. What color or colors is it going to be? I'm working on my hat that's going to be a gift. I decided that I'm going to make it a doubled up hat. So that way it will be warmer in the winter. Um, and then I decided that I'm going to do I'm going to do ribbing for the entire hat. Because the ribbing will kind of help create air pockets to help hold the heat in. Plus, it'll be thicker and hopefully more plush for who I'm making it for. And I really like this yarn that I'm using. It's cotton, acrylic, and wool, but it's really nice moving through the hands. Um, and I like this long colorway yarn, especially when I'm knitting, because it is, you get some really cool patterning with it. And depending on how many stitches you have around, it changes how quickly the yarn fades from one color to the next. I made myself a hat out of this yarn, and I really enjoy it. Okay. Oh dear, I'm so sorry. Do you have your inhaler? Keep breathing. I'm here with you. Hello, how are you doing? Oh, I'm doing good, thank you. Just hanging out, doing some knitting. Are you working on anything? Thank you very much. Easy, are you still with us? Cool. I'm going to ask you a question, and if you don't want to answer it, that's okay. You can ignore me. But what type of offering um, do you do? Is it like a material offering, or is it more like a prayer offering? Hello, welcome back. How are you doing? I'm going to mute myself for just 1 second, and then I'll be right back. Oh, okay. Thank you for answering that. I am making a hat for somebody's birthday. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. So thank you. Thank you. Yeah, this colorway is pretty nice because it flows from one color into the next um, really nicely. And since I've mentioned it a couple of times. So this is the hat that I made for myself, and this is the hat that I'm making for someone else because their head is quite a bit smaller than mine. Thank you. Yeah. And they come from two different skeins, so and the hat size is way different, so it looks different as they come out. Yes, it does have a cool fading effect. Thank you, Mississippi. Cray. Okay, I can do that. Oh, I'm so glad you're back. You had me worried there for a sec. I hope that you're feeling better, because asthma is no joke. But I am very glad to see you back. Hello. Yes, hello. And welcome. Thank you, everyone who's been joining and liking and subscribing. Thank you for hanging out with us. Me too. Remind me, was your favorite color green or blue? Because I think we talked about it, but then, my brain goes kind of spastic sometimes. Okay, sounds good. Um, so, okay, so crocheting is easier to pick up, but knitting has actually fewer stitches that you have to memorize. What makes knitting harder is you have to be able to read and recognize your stitches, and which part of the stitch is mounted forward, and which is the backward part of the stitch, which is kind of hard. For me, that was hard to figure out. Very Pink Knits does some really good knitting tutorials. And it took me several tries to learn how to knit. It's practice makes better, not practice makes perfect. But I enjoy doing both now. I've been knitting for about 5 years, and I've been crocheting for 38. So I'm going to tell you the best yarn to use for knitting is your preference. Whatever works for you. What works within your budget, what works with, how you like it to feel. Hello, I'm glad you're back. As well as just what colors you like, or maybe what yarn types you like. It really is sky's the limit. Whether you're knitting or you're crocheting, you can use literally any yarn you want. Some yarns will give you will look different even when they're done in the exact same stitch. So it really is up to you about what you want to use. I always recommend when you're first learning something or trying something to use acrylic. It's less expensive, it's much more readily available, and you can really see the stitches and see maybe where things went well or maybe where you need a little work. So this is a Musselburgh hat that I knit out of acrylic. So it was practice. The only person who's probably going to wear this is me. But it allowed me to practice the pattern and kind of see how it would work up. So I like to practice with acrylic, and then I like to actually do it with whatever yarn I want to use. Now, I've been making my own clothes for a long time, and so I don't typically do practice swatches or practice pieces in acrylic. Sometimes I will do shirts in acrylic, but they tend to have more, I tend to make them more open, like mesh stitch shirts, because acrylic can be fairly warm. So again, it's personal preference on what you want to use and how you want to use it. Okay. Um, sometimes secondhand shops or thrift stores will have needles and hooks and even yarns at significantly reduced prices. And sometimes that's a way to get started. And if you can, if you don't have like a thrift shop, sometimes stores like overseas, I think there's Aldi, and I can't remember what the other one is, that will sometimes have yarn that are kind of more like a department store or a grocery store that'll have yarn. And then here in the United States, it's like Walmart. And sometimes you can get good deals, especially if it's on like clearance. Um, and sometimes just asking friends, hey, do you have that maybe knit or crochet, asking them where they get theirs, or if they have some that they don't like to use and would be willing to give to you. That's a great question. So I have ordered from Hirschner's. I have ordered from Yarnspirations. I have ordered from the now past tense Joann's. I've ordered from Michael's and Amazon and eBay. Probably the two that I order from the most when I do order yarn are Michael's and Amazon. Michael's because I have a store in town. And Joanne, or not Joanne's, Amazon, because sometimes I can get some fairly good deals on there. Plus I always try to check the refund policy to make sure that if it's a yarn that I really don't like for whatever reason, I can send it back. But most of the yarns that I've gotten off of Amazon, I have really enjoyed. This is one that I got off of Amazon. I also have gotten, like yarns to make plushies, off of there, and I really, really do like them. They're, a smidge thinner than Bernat. But they're a really nice, like, blanket yarns. This one, let me see if it's down here. I wrote it down, and now I don't remember where I put it. I don't remember what the yarn name is on this one. Yeah, I don't go into the store often because we don't have much. But the yarn selection is pretty small where I live. But I do order online because I can sometimes get some really good deals. Then one of the yarns that I really, really like off of Amazon is called Fairyland. It is a smidge can be more expensive, but they run deals every so often. And I try to keep my eyes out for when things are less expensive. I'll throw yarn in my cart, and then it'll tell me later on if it goes on sale or if there's a price change, which I like because then that kind of informs me what their discounts are. Oh, Fairyland, Fairyland. And this is actually this yarn. And it is probably my favorite yarn that I've gotten off of Amazon so far. I have ordered off of eBay, but I just don't anymore. And I don't buy from like Temu or AliExpress. I am thinking about ordering from Premier, but I still have a lot of yarn that I have to go through before I can do something like that. I have a cousin that comes to my house to get yarn. And she loves it because it's going shopping without having to pay for anything. I've been a lover of yarn for a long time. And although I crocheted, I also had a hobby of buying yarn. And so now I am working on like using up all my yarn. um, which I have a lot. Um, and that's just Mom and I have both been working on using up our yarn, and I've done a really good, I think, job of it. But I still have a lot more to work through. Because I have it, most of it is actually packed away in totes, and I have been just trying to go through like one tote at a time and use that yarn, along with the Plushie yarn that I have. And, just working through what I've got. No, this is not an indie dyer. So this is actually a Chinese company, and they make really long, I think it even says here, they call it long distance cake ball. And so what they do is they do the long colorways where it takes a long time to move from one color into the next one, which works out well for knitting and for crochet. Although for crochet, obviously, you um, move through the colors a lot faster because you're using more yarn. What else? That's all I can think of for these guys. But this is a yarn that you have to actually hand wash and lay flat to dry. You cannot throw it in the washing machine. And I do like yarns that you can throw in the washing machine and dryer, just because they make your life easier when you're trying to take care of them and clean them and whatnot. And I've bought yarn off, I forgot to say this, off of Etsy, and I have had some really good experiences with that. I bought yarn from a clearance sale, and got quite a bit of yarn from there. I've also purchased from like D-stashes on Etsy. Um, so, you know, I just try to watch for sales of stuff that like I know I like to use or that I do use. You know, um, it sounds familiar, but it's not something that I recollect right off the top of my brain. But I'm going to take a stab at it and say that it's probably a yarn festival, or fiber festival down in New Orleans, probably like similar to um, the New York sheep and wool. And then, oh dear, there's another one in New York, and it's very popular. And the name just fell out of my brain. I might remember later on, I might not. Um, oh, it's a store. Okay. Is that close by? I shouldn't ask that. Um, is it a store that you have visited before? The other New York festival is Rhinebeck, and they actually happen at the same time. Oh, I just was gonna ask if it was close to you, but that might not be that might not be appropriate. I don't want you to, like, um, make yourself vulnerable to scammers or whatever. So I just asked if it was a store that you've been to. I have an aunt that lives in Mississippi, and she and my uncle used to go to New Orleans frequently. I hope that I get to see her next year. We didn't get to see her this year, but maybe next year we'll get to see her. Oh, okay, cool. It's cool. I'll have to go online and check that out. I think oh, hello, nice to see you again. I think the overseas yarn that I've used a couple. Um, and of course, a lot of yarn actually comes out of Turkey, that we have here in the United States. Oh, and I've ordered like from Hobby, and there used to be a Hobium yarn. What else have I ordered? I think that's it. And I always like looking at yarn. You know, and sometimes you can get mill ends for a good price. We live about an hour and a half away from a mill over in Mitchell, Nebraska. And sometimes we get yarn from there too. It's a really cool place. They actually do tours, and you can walk through the factory, and they explain the machines and stuff. It's pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty fun. Um, and like they have a little store that you can purchase yarns from. They have a big online store. It's called Brown Shoe. Sorry, Brown Sheep Company. But their little store and their factory is really cool. And we don't actually have a local yarn shop where I live. Um, so we have to go out of town no matter what if we're going to go to like a local yarn shop. And it's like pretty much an hour, at least an hour in any direction, to get to a yarn shop. So usually, if we're going to do that, we just go over to the store there at the mill, excuse me, in Mitchell, Nebraska. And that's usually where we go. We do have a yarn company that's online, but they don't have like a brick and mortar store here in town. Ah, mm-hmm. Cool. Um, we used to have one, but the lady passed away. And even though we're a capital city, we are very small. So I don't know that they can really, that it really would support like a brick and mortar yarn store here in town. But Blackbird Sycamore Yarns is actually from Cheyenne, Wyoming. And they have some really nice yarns. And I think that they just put out a brand new collection this week, if I remember correctly, or maybe it was last week. But I do remember seeing the new collection out on Instagram. But yeah, to actually buy something in person, you have to pretty much travel, which is fine. We do a lot of traveling anyways because I have a lot of doctor's appointments in northern Colorado. But it's, I don't know. I think that's why I usually end up buying stuff online is it's just more convenient because we don't have a store really in town. I have no idea what that means. Yes, I actually have a lot of Lion Brand yarn. I really like the ice cream line for like blankets. Scarfy yarn makes really good like hats and cowls and scarves. I'm not a big fan of like their 24/7 or whatever it is cotton. Um, but they have some really nice stuff. Lion Brand. Oh, Mandala is really nice. Hello, nice to see you back again. But yes, Lion Brand has some really nice stuff. And I think Lion Brand is kind of like Karen and Bernat when it comes to their like pound of yarn. I think it's usually very comparable price wise. Yes, they have. Oh, okay, cool. I think Lion Brand has been around almost as long as Red Heart, because Red Heart's original name was, oh, I can't remember, but it was started by a thread company, and they were really, really popular for a long time. And actually, Yarnspirations just purchased, well, not just, what was it, 2 years ago, I think, purchased that thread company that also owned Red Heart. Ah, have a good weekend, and I'll see you next time I see you. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, it's almost 4 o'clock here. And my phone is getting ready to die on me because I didn't plug it in. So, I just want to remind all of you that you are wanted, you are needed, and you are loved, if not by anybody else, then by me. Everyone is welcome here. Please be kind to everyone, including yourselves, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much for stopping by, liking, and subscribing, and I will see you soon.